Welcome to Secret Spaces, everybody. This is a weekly Twitter Spaces featuring mainly Secret Network core contributors, often DApp teams. Sometimes we feature guests outside of Secret as well. This week we are focusing on our upcoming hackathon, HackSecret, and we have several DApp teams from Secret Network that are sponsoring this event. We also have Erdeman here from Secret Agency. He's organizing this hackathon along with Sean Rad, who I'm trying to bring up on stage right now. But Erdeman, you go ahead and take over if you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're talking about HackSecret. Like Patrick said, the hackathon is starting coming 17th of April. It will have roughly $50,000 in prizes. Some are denominated in the native tokens of all of these great sponsors. Some of them will be denominated in secret. But will be a good pot worth fighting for. It's going to be an online hackathon, and we're going to focus basically mainly on DeFi, only on DeFi. And how we're going to do this is in an interesting way, at least in my opinion, is all of the dApps you will see on screen, and we will talk about lately in a bit, which is going to be Shade, Protocol, Blizzard Finance, Secret Swap 2.0, and Stake Easy, and also Shenna Network, which have both Lend and Shenna Swap. And they will basically provide their application, or not their full application, but basically give you the contracts and tell you, hey, these contracts we have available for you to work with, and we would like to see you build a product on top of that, or maybe create a product that very well fits within those already existing contracts. So the whole hackathon is based on this idea that if we really want to push DeFi further, we don't need, or we don't necessarily want 10 different applications all delivering the same base layer. But it's really interesting if we can combine different applications to bring interesting yield products or DeFi products to the user. So we see this in different ecosystems, mainly in the EVM space. Arbitrum is a really good example, and all their applications, how they're leveraging GLP, which is this token by GMX. But there are way more interesting ideas basically you can leverage with already pre-existing liquidity. And this liquidity will then remain available in original contracts and remain available in all of these already existing dApps, but it will also be able to be leveraged in all of these solutions that are built on top of it, and thereby sort of creating a stable base for people to leverage and people to create very interesting user experiences. So there are a ton of different ideas that are listed on our page. So maybe if you haven't seen it yet, I'd suggest going to the website, scrt.network, and then checking out the HackSecret page is listed in a banner on the top. It will have all sort of the details and what kind of applications people could build. But before we dive a little bit deeper into the hackathon, I first want to make sure we introduce all of the sponsors, which are already on stage. Seeing as Ian or Notefather is the first one on my screen, I'd say go ahead. Could you quickly introduce yourself and introduce the app you're going to be partnering with, basically for the hackathon, Blizzard?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ertman. I'm Ian, Notefather. I work at Blizzard Finance. Blizzard is we offer balancer style weighted pools and curve style stable pools. That at least that's what we'll offer at launch. We also will have liquidity bootstrapping pools later, and a few other pool types. I do infrastructure at my company. I'm not a developer. I don't do any of the development for Blizzard. My co-founder isn't here, but yeah, that's a little about us.
Yeah, thanks. And then let's move on to Red Eyed Beer, who is here for Shade Protocol.
Thanks for having me on, Erdeman. Hi, everyone. My name is Red Eyed Bear. I focus on operations and marketing for Shade Protocol. For anyone who isn't aware of Shade Protocol is an interconnected suite of private DeFi applications built on Secret. That DeFi suite is comprised of our flagship product, which is Silk, a private reflexive stablecoin, lending protocol, a hybrid DEX, bonds, as well as a few unannounced products that are in the works.
Thanks. Great introduction. And then let's move on to Ali, who's here for Shenna Network, or Eli. you can finally tell me what the correct pronunciation is.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me. So my name is Eli. I'm the community manager for Sienna Network. A little bit of background information on Sienna. We have Sienna Swap, which is our DEX, Sienna Lend, which is our lending protocol, and we're on the verge of launching Sienna Launch, which is an IBC launchpad. Thank you.
And then last but not least, Udit from StakeEasy and Secret Swap.
We have developed StakeEasy and SecretSwap. Soon we'll be launching the testnet for SecretSwap. And so it has more focus on how liquid staking integrates with the swap itself, which we'll be announcing soon and how it works.
Yeah, so welcome all. I think last but not least, let's sort of quickly dive back into the hackathon. I want to welcome Sean as well to the stage. He's been doing basically most of the work on the hackathon. He has gotten all of the mentors together and then a lot of me with the ID and got all these sponsorships. So Sean, maybe not specifically introduce yourself, but you can. But yeah, how has it been so far getting the hackathon together, and what's the main target for us from your point of view?
Thanks, Erdeman, and hello, everybody. Yeah, we're super excited about this. This is the first major hackathon that Secret Network is putting together, and we're super excited about the sponsors that we have here. And just also to have it be this DeFi focused hackathon and to be able to build in a way that you really only can on Secret Network. I think just sort of with all of the speakers we have here, the timeline of everyone, what they've been doing, what they've been building, it's the perfect time, I think, to be able to have this hackathon because we have just all these dApps that are launching simultaneously. And also, it's just exciting to just keep onboarding Rust developers into the Cosmos and Secret Network ecosystem as like IBC continues to expand. But I think what we're just really excited about is onboarding new developers to Secret Network and showing them what they can build, what is possible. And I think the sponsors we have here today are going to be huge in being leaders in that space.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think it's maybe something quick to mention is that Sean specifically, but also the development committee, Secret University, and the developers at Secret Labs have been taking a massive step at increasing the developer experience on Secret. And although we always have a long way to go, we're at a stage where we have better documentation, we have quite easy way to port vanilla Cosmosm contracts to Secret. There was more toolkits than ever, partly built by Sandman and partly built by Secret Labs. We have CW Plus, multi-sig coming, thanks to Apollo DAO. So there's many tooling on Secret, and that combined with all of these sort of SDKs, which have been here forever, whether it's the Python SDK called Secret Pi by the team behind Secret Analytics from Gmail, or whether it's the Kotlin SDK built by Equity. There's basically a flavor of the month or a tool for basically every developer to use, whether you're an actual Rust developer or a JavaScript developer, or you're coming from Python, Kotlin, or doing databases. There is a way for everyone to participate in the hackathon, and it will really be a lot easier than people might have been used to 2 years ago. So we're really looking forward to get people these tools into their hands and have people work with all of these amazing tooling. So maybe one quick question before we move on to sort of the some of the tidbits regarding the challenges from the sponsors. I was going to ask you again, Sean, like, what do you think are the most interesting workshops we have lined up, and what are you most looking forward to? Is it the Polar and the Fedroma workshops, or the ones by the dApps or the Secret University? I was curious to hear which workshops you thought were coolest.
I think what's really exciting is that we have workshops that are going to get developers of any level and of any ecosystem up and ready to be developing on Secret Network. So, I came from Ethereum to Secret and have never looked back. But what I want is that anybody who participates in this hackathon to feel like they have all the tools they need to build a full stack application and to be excited about the dApp that they're submitting by the end of this month. So what's really exciting, I think, is that we have really specific use cases of what you can build on Secret Network through these amazing sponsored partnerships. And then we also have more like in-depth looks into how to do something specific, like front-end integration will be one of the workshops. for just learning how to use Secret.js and to get that aspect of your dApp up and running. And then also we have I'm going to be leading a full stack dApp workshop through a dApp I made, which is like a business card application on Secret Network. So I'm just excited to just give the community the tools that they probably haven't had up to this point, maybe necessarily, to be able to build whatever they can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said, right? There's something to work with for every developer, and even if you're new, I think we have now lined up a little bit over 10 different workshops coming from all different teams, focusing on different areas, and some of them sort of being a gradual increase in learning more and more. I think if you come in starting from zero, you should be able to actually participate in a hackathon. So if you're not a developer and did want to start doing that, then I think it's going to be a great idea to start with this one and have not only all these workshops available, but I just got the mentor schedule from Sean, and there will be mentors every single day for at least 2 hours a day, including all of the mentorship you might get from the app. So there will be a lot of people to learn from who've been here for a very long time and know what to deal with. So now that we covered that and covered some of the basis of the hackathon, I basically wanted to ask all the sponsors a little bit about what they think is interesting to build with their application or with their contracts. So for the hackathon, we've asked all the sponsorships, sponsored partners, basically create a challenge, and in this challenge you can name what you think is going to be interesting to build with your pre-existing contracts. So I'm gonna give the floor first, I think, to Udit, if that's okay. I'm going to ask you, hey, we have this B-Secret, this liquid staking derivative, which doesn't compound, but it gives your rewards away. We have Secret Swap. Like, what are you looking forward to see people build with your already existing product suite, and you hope to see potentially give your price to?
One thing we want is, for example, like we'll have B secret pairs in the initial pairs of secret swap itself. So there's one pair B secret, which will be a stable swap pair. So initially it will be that users have to convert first the secret into B secret and then provide liquidity and then bond it. So there's a possibility that someone can build vaults on top of that. Very close example you can see in the IBC space is how Quasar has been built for osmosis, where like the whole process of depositing your osmosis and converting half of it into some other asset and then providing it as liquidity and bonding it and then every day claiming the rewards, compounding it. That can be done, that we really want someone to build. Second, possibly if someone can build an analytics page that is really descriptive of what the volumes are, and maybe like for any users who's using Secret Swap, they can also see their own analytics. That's another thing we are looking to have. And yeah, there are a couple of others that I'm forgetting right now, but yeah, I think it's mentioned in our documentation. But yeah, these two things we really want to have. So yeah, anyone else who wants to build this, you're welcome to join.
It sounds really nice. I mean, UX friction is really something you want to reduce, right? So it's going to enable the product to work better. I think I'll do a quick mention maybe for every dApp. If they don't mention a certain specific use case I was thinking of, I'll just try to mention it myself. I actually think what some team could be working over is an automated vault strategy that arbitrages like B secret and stake secret and maybe any other liquid staking derivative that will come out for that matter. I think the more staking derivatives are going to be launched, the more opportunities there will be for people to both arbitrage the interest on those for money markets, but also arbitrage the pairs and sort of keep the whole liquid staking derivative ecosystem and liquidity at a more stable price. So personally, really looking forward for someone to see, for basically someone to build a vault that does that arbitrage automatically, or uses some of the strategies to pay out real yield over any of the staking derivatives that exist on the network. So if you're sparked by those ideas, then feel free to sign up. By the way, the link is on scrt.network. But for now, let's move on to one of the next sponsors, and we'll just go in the opposite direction of what we did first. So, Eli, if you want to quickly state some of the ideas you have for Channel Swap and Channel Lend, what people want to build. I've already spoken to some of your founders, so I'm quite sure you have some very cool ideas that can go into the hackathon.
We're pretty open-ended, pretty open-minded about whatever people want to build. One cool idea that I think teams could focus on is building automated delta neutral strats on Sienna Lend. Beyond that, maybe the gamification of Sienna Launch, adding gamification aspects to make it more interesting for users. Yeah, we're pretty open-ended.
Can you dive a little bit into the delta neutral strategies and maybe sort of explain what that construes or how it would work with Channel Lend?
Well, I mean, it would depend on each team, how they would want to go about doing that. But an automated vault, for example, where you deposit liquidity and it does everything for you in the back end. So that would be pretty cool, simplifying things a little bit.
Yeah, like take out loans on one pair and then deposit them somewhere else and benefit like the interest difference between being long and short or differences between that, like, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they're very interesting protocols, and they define ways to earn, I guess, real yield or sort of benefit of market discrepancies directly in a single click, which would be really cool to see, because by taking out such a position, nobody would actually be able to liquidate you or benefit of that, because all the liquidation points in Channel Lend are private, which is a huge benefit, of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, so let's move on then. We're going to Shade Protocol. I assume the most interesting protocols here are probably related to Silk, or maybe to some of the interesting curves you have on Shade Swap. Red Eye Beer, you want to give us a quick tidbit on what you think is interesting that people could build with Shade?
Yeah, for sure. I first want to state that DeFi is this really interesting intersection of blockchain and financial technology that is right now niche enough to exclude a non-insignificant amount of developers in the world. And we kind of see evidence in the immaturity of DeFi protocols across basically all blockchain ecosystems. But super excited that hackathons such as HackSecret are focusing specifically on DeFi because it's an opportunity to both educate and facilitate the growth of financial literacy and development in this industry. So kind of related to that, one of the things that Shade Protocol is very interested in as far as projects for the hackathon are like kind of in quotes quant investor focused product development. So this would help accelerate the development of our layered applications. And so this could extend to vault strategies, like you had mentioned, different stablecoin straddles, staking index strategies for Shade Lend, having bots to be able to facilitate off-chain liquidations, other arbitrage bots for liquid staking derivatives, stablecoin arbitrage, and then in general tooling to empower algorithmic trading. It's kind of what we're focused on.
Yes, to really allow people to basically work with Shade in specific strategies and have people maybe even make those strategies and earn off them by taking a commission, and then other people could leverage them. Maybe somebody finance, but then for Shade.
Yeah, and then also looking to generally improve the user experience for private DeFi applications. So everything from improving the utilization of viewing keys, query permits, to reducing the number of clicks a user has to perform in order to achieve a particular functionality. All of those things are going to contribute to a more positive experience and help promote and empower private DeFi more. So that's important as well.
Yeah, so it seems like there's a massive possibility for people who don't know Rust contracts, but just take all of these contracts and mash them together in maybe even a Python backend or any other language for that matter, and work with that. So hackathon definitely isn't Rust only, and it's getting very clear from all of these potential use cases people are stating here. Yeah, so last but not least, want to move on to Blizzard Finance and for your IDs. I've spoken to you a little bit already, of course, Notefather, so I know some of the interest, but yeah, want to hear from yourself. What do you think is cool to build with Blizzard, or what are you most looking forward to see built in or on top of the Blizzard Finance suite?
Yeah, sure. Happy to share. So Honestly, it's probably fair for me to say like we're up there with like the most flexible when it comes to what we would uh, uh, like to see. So really, any kind of DeFi thing being built to work with or on Blizzard would be interesting for us. We have some work done on some of this, but we'd be happy to see and potentially fund LSDs, lending, DAO tooling, ARB bots. Really, I like we're pretty flexible. It would have to make sense to us or whatever, but I don't really want to create a box. Those are some things that we would think are cool, but I'm sure that there are other things too, and I'd be pleasantly surprised to be, to see something I didn't expect, right? Like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it, right? You never want to narrow it down too much, because in the end we really want innovation. So we really want people to build new and interesting things. And if we define the rules too much, that won't happen. So maybe it's a good time to quickly dive into that rule set, or quickly discuss that. The idea for anyone that participates, either solo or in a team, is you can enroll, and you don't necessarily have to choose a track, at least not at first, but you will choose for yourself, at least, on what you're going to work. You work on an application you think is interesting, and the only real requirement, or maybe two requirements, is one, you will hand it in at the end of the hackathon and under an open source license, and two, you will work with at least one of the existing contracts of any of the four sponsors. And at the end, you can then decide, okay, my application fits mostly into this sponsorship track, or it works best with their application, so I'll apply to their track. But by definition, you're also applied to the general hackathon track. And that is the track which determines the main prize winners, which is the 10,000 secrets divided over the top three, and also the 20,000 USD denominated grants for the winner of the hackathon to put their application to mainnet. But simultaneously, all of the DApps are basically able to decide on their own which applications of everyone that committed it was best using their application. So it might be that you end up being fourth on the hackathon and didn't happen to win a prize, but you got the attention of Stake Easy, and they would still be able to. You would win their prize and thereby still win 5,000 USD denominated in their native token. So there's a lot of prizes up for grabs, and we've already got at least some confirmations from apps that they're actively going to look out for people that go above and beyond and see if they can give them grants to build out their applications on mainnet. So it's not only the secret prizes and the grant that's coming from Secret Labs, but all of these DApps are also very keen and interested to see what all of these developers can bring and help them bring it to mainnet when it comes to that point. So when we all discussed all the apps, I want to quickly sort of speak. I don't want to say for Secret Labs, but speak like about what else you could build, which doesn't necessarily go into the specific of the DApps, but what Secret Labs were really interested in. And I think the main point there is that there is a big gap in Secret DeFi, which is margin. And margin, or limit orders, or limit order margin. Anyone that builds an application which focuses on that is going to be probably very interested for Secret Labs, who have two people on the jury, and the other jury members will be one person from every single application. So there are 6 people at the end of the hackathon, all on the jury, who will decide the top 3 winners, and there's going to be a lot of different projects you can build to do that. Now I'll take a quick break and give it over to Patrick, who wanted to share some small tidbits, I think, about the batch.
Yeah, just really quickly, if you check the pinned messages in this Twitter space, you should see a message about a secret badge. It's like a POAP, if you're familiar with POAPs. It's just a free secret NFT for attending this event. If you click the link there and then use the claim code SURGE, 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 that will get you a free secret NFT with a HackSecret design on it. Speaking of Surge, it's an upcoming thing that you may have heard of. It's been hinted about. You'll definitely be hearing more about it in the next week or two. But I'm going to post a forum link, and I'm going to pin that in the space as well, so you can go ahead and check that out and learn more about that. And with that out of the way, I'll hand that back over to Erdman.
Yeah, thanks. I actually wanted to talk about search because, to be honest, it's very convenient that the hackathon was focused around DeFi and then came together with search. It wasn't completely pre-intended, but let's just act like it is. The hackathon focuses completely on DeFi, and this was chosen because these sponsors and the apps we're now talking to are actually going live with products basically this month or next month. Some of them already announced. Some of them announced a wide date they will be working around. Together with that, the staging area for the XLR bridge, bringing Ethereum liquidity and Binance Smart Chain liquidity, Arbiter, and basically any other ecosystem to Secret is now live. So the mainnet contracts are being deployed as we speak. We should see the UI come to mainnet over the next week, basically. And from that moment onwards, we'll have a new set of Secret tokens what will represent Red Bitcoin, Red Ethereum, and everything else coming from the XLR bridge, which just has an easier UX for sure, and very different security guarantees, which are I guess more up to date with the current requirements of bridges in this ecosystem. And it will also allow us to very easily connect with Osmosis and Kujira and Carbon and any of these other ecosystems which leverage extra assets and can now finally sort of bring those strategies with their already existing liquidity to Secret as well. So if you want to do arbitrage interest between Yumi and Shena Land or Shade Land, it becomes a lot easier now currently. And if you want to deploy stables, which you already have, you can just bridge them in and use them. So really looking forward to that. Together with that, Secret Search is on the forums right now. I heard the proposals going up as well, which will bring additional incentives to the applications in this space. So Blizzard, Shade, Shanna, and StakeEasy/SecretSwap are all participating in the Secret Search, getting additional secret incentives, partially from the team and partially from the community pool on their applications to really kickstart this liquidity campaign. So might not only see an influx of users, but see an influx of hackers as well going to leverage that liquidity. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see.
Yeah, it's going to be an explosion of secret DeFi, all these new applications launching at the same time and incentives for providing liquidity. It's something huge to look forward to. As Erdman said, the proposal will be going up on the forums, I believe, on April 11th, so about a week from now. And then a week after that, the voting will close and Secret Search should go live as long as that passes. So take a look at the forum post and we'll look forward to that.
Yes, and then I guess it's a nice time for me to do some sort of, I wouldn't say it's alpha, but we're working towards closing an additional partnership and some additional work for the hackathon. So I spoke to a team in the Cosmos ecosystem, which are potentially very happy to work with the hackathon as well and bring sort of the interchain interest to launch in secret applications. So if you really want to do a hackathon merely to start leveraging IBC contracts and see the power of IBC chain accounts on Secret and getting sort of privacy as a service to all your applications, then don't wait. We're very close with getting a partner to help with that. On top of that, there's going to be some new IBC tokens available. So people can actually launch new pairs and start working with assets they know from the ecosystem. So today, I actually started working on creating channels for not only Jackal, but also for White Whale, for Mars Protocol. We will have a channel with Carbon, who launched the Demex product suite, and they have a token which is called Compounded GOP. So it's an Arbitrum token, which has the GOP representative on their chain, which can come to Secret. So there are a lot of interesting tokens that will be available for the hackathon for people to use. So they don't only have the internal resources of all of these DApps, but also have all of these external resources of contracts, of code bases, of token launches they can use. So whether you want to port flash loans from one application or work with money markets, cross-chain, you're free to do so. IBC contract is live and people can leverage that. So I'll quickly want to ask Sean, who has been working on the documentation around IBC contracts, like what's the progress? How's it been? Do you think people will be ready to start working with IBC contracts? And then what are you personally looking most forward to as in a use case to leverage IBC contracts in the HackSecret hackathon?
I think what's exciting is what we're learning right now, I think, is there are so few people actually out here building with IBC. So if we can get developers cognizant and knowing how to actually build on IBC or use IBC to communicate cross-chain with Secret Network, that would be a huge win for this hackathon. I think what's exciting is, for one, just like using Secret Network's random number generator and the idea that there's specific things that you can only do with the Secret toolkit. And I think perhaps if you're not familiar with the Secret Network ecosystem, you might not understand how much there is actually that you can do only on Secret. So if IBC starts to bring other developers from the Cosmos to Secret and gets them to start using the Secret toolkit, I think that would be a great outcome of this hackathon.
Yeah, I agree. We really need more people to leverage IBC contracts. There is too few people who completely understand how it works, and the process is being simplified on so many ways, speaking to so many cool applications which are trying to bridge the barrier. So really looking forward for people to leverage that in the hackathon as well. And yeah, feel free to do so. It's going to be available. So I'll do a quick call to action saying, if you want to sign up, if you want to participate, you don't necessarily have to be a developer. I mean, people will need tokenomics expert. We're actually going to have a tokenomics talk by, I think, one of the bigger DeFi experts in Secret Network. His name is Waffle. And there's going to be basically a lot of interest for them to sort of design protocols. So whether you're just a crypto enthusiast, whether you're a Python developer, JavaScript developer, or an actual Rust smart contract or CosmWasm fanatic, no worries. Please just sign up and see if you like it. If you don't like it, you can always stop halfway or only participate in the workshops. Everything is going to be open, and there's no no payment required for the hackathon. You can just participate if you want. So feel free to go to scrt.network, which is the website, and then click on the top banner. This has the HackSecret call to action, and you can sign up. We'll take the event right. You have to fill some questions, and it should all be good. And then I guess while saying that, I want to ask if anyone in the audience has a question. Feel free to raise your hand, and Patrick will take you on stage. And in the meantime, while I wait for if there is someone in the audience who has a question, I want to ask if one of the sponsors or any of the speakers currently on stage has a question or just wants to quickly say something, then you can do so in the meantime, but we'll wait for the audience questions.
I'll just quickly mention that link to the HackSecret sign-up page is also pinned in this Twitter space. You can find it there. So it's 12 days away is when the hackathon starts. I was wondering when registrations are closing. Are they open up until the 17th?
The registrations are open till the day it starts. So you're open to register until we actually start hacking. And I think it's going to be Wednesday on the start. So it's going to be the 19th when people are fully enrolled and have their team selected.
And even then can keep it rolling. It's the sort of thing where it's like the more time and thought you put into it, I think the better the DApp is going to be that is built. But we're definitely excited about just having this month-long community development building environment. So don't want there to be any barriers to entry for anyone who wants to be involved at any point in time.
Yeah, that's awesome that it also acts as like a public developer workshop just going on the entire month. So this is going to happen on the Secret Network Discord, and I assume anybody can just drop in and listen to those workshops. Is that right?
Yep, and we'll also be posting them online at some point, but I think it's good to be there IRL to just be able to ask questions and, get specific feedback if you're working on something.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be, 2 times 6, at least almost 80 hours of mentorship from seasoned developers, all Rust contract or UI designers. And then more than 10 workshops, all at least an hour long. So it's going to be a lot of resources for people to learn. Not only going to be secret contract specific, but just COSM WASM contracts, UI design. So definitely interesting for anyone who is developing products in the Cosmos ecosystem. So yeah, highly encourage you to just join in and see if you can learn something, because it's open to everyone.
We do have one question from the audience. I just brought him on stage.
First of all, thank you for letting me come onto the stage. I just have a few questions. I'm a bit of a noob with Secret. What are the prerequisites to join this hackathon? I think I missed. You may have said it, but I think I just missed it.
So I would say if you have any hesitation of whether or not you should join, just join. Like for me, one of the biggest, I guess, milestones of my career as a developer was the first hackathon I ever did. It was an Ethereum hackathon. I was intimidated to join because I thought I would have way less experience than everybody else who was there. But you just end up being surrounded by a wealth of knowledge, and you end up bringing things to the table that you didn't even know were possible until you show up to the table. So what I would say is if you go to Secret Networks docs, we have really great getting started docs that will get you up to speed with knowing how to upload, compile, instantiate, execute, and query a Secret Network smart contract. And I think if you have that knowledge, you should be well on your way to being able to participate in this hackathon. So just go to the Secret Network docs, go to the development and getting started tab, and if you have any questions, just ask on the Discord, and people will get back to you and make sure you have everything you need.
Okay, thank you. I do have another question. So I've been with Secret for a long time, in terms of holding the tokens, right? The Shade protocol, jumping into the whole IBC as well, like Osmosis and stuff. And Sienna has been also one that I've been working on. Is under Secret Network, correct?
I think this is one for Eli to take, but in general, Secret Network is a permissionless layer 1, so anyone can build applications on top of it. So Sienna Network is a different team who has built a tremendous application on Secret already starting I think 2 years ago now almost, or 1.5 years ago at least. So they're a separate team, but they've been involved with Secret for a long time, and they're still here, still developing new and interesting products.
No, that was a great description. So Secret Network, Sienna's built on Secret Network, but we're not the Secret Network team, if that makes sense.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, the reason why I'm asking is because I've had some challenges with using the Sienna network. It always, even a Kepler wallet as well. I get these spanners that come up. Now, going to Hackathon, would I be able to fix some of those challenges? Will I have the potential to do that?
Well, I would hope some teams maybe focus on the UX aspect of the challenges instead of maybe creating new DeFi. Or focusing on DeFi, maybe focusing on the UX might be a good angle, actually. So that's a cool idea.
Okay, cool. And the last thing, I never heard the code for the NFT. Do you mind just sharing that code one more time?
Sure, no problem. The code is Surge, SURGE, Surge.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thanks again for your time putting this all together. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking a question. I hope to see you at the hackathon. I mean, we need UX designers. We need people who are interested in many ways. Like I said, we could even use tokenomics expert or just DeFi analysts or researchers. So anyone is welcome. I think I really hope even to get some privacy-focused people. So they don't necessarily are developers, but they're just going to focus on checking the privacy of all these applications, because there's a lot to do when designing secret contracts and a lot to take in mind. So I really hope people take advantage of that in any way, shape, or form, and use their skills to help out in the hackathon, because there's some big prizes up for grabs, and there's going to be a lot of community around it. So I hope to see everyone there. And with that, I think it's time to say goodbye. Thank you all for being here. Once again, the claim code for the badge is SURGE, Surge. Like putting your fingers in the electrical sockets. It will give you a big surge. Anyway, thanks for being here. Check out the Secret website if you want to sign up for HackSecret, with over 80 hours of mentorship, workshops, big prize pools, and a lot of interesting community members there. I really hope a lot of you join in and just check out how development works and see if you can participate in any way, shape, or form. And then we'll see you on the 17th. HackSecret. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks, Erdman. Thanks, everybody.